Airliners, cruise liners, and other travel stocks have arguably taken the hardest hit during this economic decline. A lot of you out there might be asking, is this a good time to buy? It really feels like a no-brainer, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion and some other things that you may want to consider before pushing that buy button coming up. So yes, airliners and cruise liner stocks have been hit the hardest during this economic downturn, some of them as low as 85%. We look at something like Delta that's still down 50% from its 52-week highs. Southwest Airlines came down to $9 from a $35 high. If you look at some of these cruise liners, Carnival Cruise is down 85% from its 52-week high, and Royal Caribbean is down $110 from $135 just a few weeks ago. At what point do we say enough's enough and this is so stupid cheap that I have to buy here? Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinion on that in just a sec. But first, I want to welcome you to my channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market, it's crazy and chaotic. So I've made it my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content such as this, please like and subscribe to this video and hit that notification bell. I certainly would appreciate it. So the answer to today's question as to whether or not these stocks are cheap enough to start buying them up, I think it's a little bit more of a complicated answer than a yes or no. There have been so many moving parts and things that have been changing as a result of the Rona that we really don't know what's going to be happening one day to the next. And then also ask yourself this: once you get out of your house, once you're allowed out, which I'm starting to get a little bit of cabin fever at this stage in the game, but once you're allowed out, the first thing you're thinking about doing is definitely not getting on a cruise liner. I think that getting on a cruise on a ship like that is going to be one of the most dangerous places to be, even when things start to lighten up here in a little bit. I think the airliners are set up a little bit better, only because when everybody's allowed out of their house, they're going to have to get back to work and that sort of thing. There's not as many people on a plane as there is on a cruise ship, but they are going to suffer the same types of issues regardless of how many people you can fit in each vessel. Here's one thing to consider though. These cruise liners and airliners aren't going anywhere. They're almost too big to fail at this point. If they fail, then there's going to be millions of jobs lost. And so the government is doing everything that they can to make sure that that doesn't happen. The industries will receive federal aid as a part of a $2 trillion stimulus plan signed on March 27th. And this should keep them upright so long as people are allowed out of their homes sooner rather than later. And as far as the stimulus plan is concerned, if you want to go check out my mentorship, where I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time and show them how to invest and trade in the stock market, I'd encourage you to click the links down in the description below. If you enter the word stocks as a promo code, you get 1 month free and give yourself your very own stimulus. Okay, back to the video. So check this out. One of the craziest statistics or numbers that I have seen coming out of all of this is a really good example here on just the impact that all this has had, obviously, is Delta Airlines. So analysts expected airliner stock Delta Airlines to earn $7.42 per share in all of 2020. Now it's changed from $7.42. Now the estimates are down to just 19 cents a share for the entire year. That is incredible. It just shows how fast the impact has been, but this is where I think this is something to take notice of. When you look at these airliner stocks, these cruise liner stocks, and maybe some of your other travel stocks or stocks that require people to travel to them, your casinos and that sort of thing, I will say that even though everything's come to a screeching halt, once people are allowed out of their homes, the demand is going to go through the roof. People are going to want to go out and do things because they've been cooped up inside of their house for so long. Now, you can make the argument here as to the potential risk that's involved with that, because maybe that could trigger a second wave of all this BS that's going on. But I would say that I'm trying to stay optimistic here and saying that we won't see a V-type move, but I do think we will see a faster recovery here as we compare it to previous recessions. I've said this before on this channel, and we've talked about how just this particular situation relates to other ones. And if you even compare it to back in 2008 was just a fundamentally flawed recession. So many people were losing their jobs, losing their homes, and I don't think in this case it's nearly as impactful in that way. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of corporations that are still keeping a lot of their employees on salary and paying them throughout all of this, despite seeing the type of numbers that we are seeing from the unemployment side. I think that's very promising, and I commend those companies that are doing so. I think it's a fantastic way to go about making sure that your employees are taken care of. And from a business side of things, I think that just makes sense. So I think those stocks are actually going to do well coming out of this because of, the kind of recognition that they're getting right now. And if they're doing so well that they can afford to pay their employees during this tough time, then it just goes to show just how well they were doing before and how well they're going to do coming out of this. So is now the right time to be buying those airliners and cruise liner stocks, looking at your Carnival Cruise Lines, your Royal Caribbeans, Delta Airlines, American, all of those, Southwest. I think that at this point, you should have been buying them up on the way down anyway. First of all, as I always say, there's no way to predict the actual bottom of any stock or the stock market in general. Do I think that there's potential for this to go lower? Absolutely. I think it will, but I do think that it's promising to see that the stimulus is going to hold them up at least for a time until people can get back out into the workforce. And we are going to be experiencing some pretty volatile times moving forward. That's kind of a given. So at this point, if you're looking at these as potential investments, yes, I would start to work your way into these, even though there is a possibility that it could go lower, because there's also that possibility that it won't go lower ever again, that this is the bottom for it. For these airliner stocks, I would venture to say that the airliner stocks end up making a move faster than the cruise liners, and I think the cruise liners still have a little bit more to go down. But again, like I said, making sure that you're hedging yourself there and averaging in instead of actually trying to predict the actual bottom is really what's going to, set you up for the best possible outcome when it comes to investing in stocks that have come down so far already. Okay, so now that you've gotten my facts and opinions, I want to hear from you. So leave me some comments down below. What are your thoughts? Have you already been investing into these stocks already, or are you still trying to wait for the bottom to come in? I would love to hear your thoughts as I respond to all of the comments in every one of my videos. So thank you so much for all the comments that you've been putting in before, and I certainly look forward to engaging with you on this topic as well. So that's going to do it for me, guys. If you like today's video, I certainly would appreciate that thumbs up. It just shows me some additional support. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, I just looked at my stats here. 70% of you are watching my videos and not yet subscribed. So what are you waiting for? I know that you're coming back to watch them. So hit that subscribe button, get that notification on, and as always, folks, I will see you all before the bell, and B Smith is out. I'm really getting irritated that YouTube demonetizes all my videos. I've gotten so irritated to the point, and I'm so bored right now, getting cabin fever, that I wrote a song. I talk about stocks every day, but YouTube says that you can't say corona. Corona. But I gotta talk about it so you get paid, 'cause every stock out there's trying to play on corona. 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 I can't believe I made it through that whole thing. You are welcome. You're welcome, by the way. So did Elon really lie to us, or was it just a matter of the situation that occurred after those earnings reports came out? Well, if you look at when Elon made that announcement that he